So you've got to serve some static assets from the cloud. You've heard of Google Cloud Storage, but aren't really in the mood to make our documentation your weekend reading. We get it, and we're here to help. Welcome to Cloud Storage Bytes, where we break it all down so you can spin it up. Today, we'll start with the basics: buckets, objects, and storage classes. Oh my! According to the official documentation, Google Cloud Storage is Unified Object Storage. In reality, GCS is the place where you can store and serve static binary assets either for your app to use or directly to your users. But as straightforward as that sounds, there is a lot going on under the hood. We've got buckets, objects, and various storage classes. In order to leverage the power of GCS in your apps, you gotta know what all that means. Let's start with some vocabulary: buckets and objects. Any piece of data you store in GCS is called an object. And objects are organized into buckets. Buckets are really important because they let you control access to your data at a macro level. That's why there's specific restrictions on how you name, create, delete, and even access them. In fact, one of the most important design patterns you'll find is to design your apps for less bucket ops and more object ops instead. When we say object ops, we mean object operations. And by object operations, we mean operations relating to the individual pieces of data stored in a bucket in cloud storage. For example, using the REST API to set the HTML header for a specific object, or changing metadata on it. With all of that out of the way, let's take a look at getting started with GCS. You can set up your buckets and upload objects in the Cloud Platform console, where you'll see that you have a few options regarding the storage class and the location. Now, at first glance, this might be a little bit confusing, and in future episodes, I'll break it down the nuances of making the decisions here. But for now, as promised, here's the quick version. The type of bucket you choose has to do with your access patterns and then your resiliency patterns. For example, if you're just archiving your data or only need it every few months, you'll want to choose cold line or nearline storage, since those are the cheapest and not super focused on frequent access or latency. On the other hand, regional and multi-regional buckets are best in production environments where latency really matters. The only difference between the two is how much redundancy you want in your data from a geolocation perspective, but more on that later. Now that we've established some of the basic terminology, we'll take the next few episodes to show you those concepts in action. So subscribe, give us a like, and let us know what features of cloud storage you'd like to know more about in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on GCS Bytes. We'll see you next time.